The fly that we're tying today is the Viz CDC Midge. This is a pattern that I developed a couple of years ago for fishing the netwing midge hatch on the elandsput. The problem that I was having at that time is when I was fishing patterns that were small enough to imitate the midges, I typically wasn't able to see the pattern on the water, which meant that I was obviously battling to see the takes and to strike at the correct time. So I developed this pattern, which is essentially a highly visible Griffith's net tied out of CDC. The Griffith's net is a superb pattern and works really well, but if you've ever tried fishing them at some distance, especially if you have eyes like mine, you'll find that you battle to see them properly. So it's a very simple pattern. It's basically just CDC and post material. I like using the Antron fluorescent red post material. I just find it's really very visible in a wide variety of conditions. And so the fly is very simple. It's essentially just the Antron for the post and CDC for the body. The hook that we're using, just to make it more visible, is a grip 11011BL size 16. And the CDC, the technique that we use, doesn't have to be really high quality CDC. We use a split thread dubbing loop, and that means that you can essentially get away with slightly poorer quality CDC, which is one of the nice things about using a split thread technique. Right, to start the fly, start the thread at the eye of the hook, wrap back to about 1/4 of the shank length, trim the thread off. Then the first material that I'm using is Met's fluorescent red Antron yarn, and very good stuff. This very visible. Okay, so take a piece about 4 to 5 centimeters long. Then just lick it so that all the fibers stay together. Place it underneath the hook shank. Grab the two edges together and then just bend it back slightly. Wrap over it. Move it forward, wrap behind it, and then I just wrap a couple of times around the post, just to keep all the fibers together and out of the way when I tie the rest of the fly. Okay, once you've done that, just wrap your thread back to the bend of the hook. Okay, now what we're doing is we're taking 2 CDC feathers. You can take whatever color you like. I'm using black. Stroke the fibers on the feather back so that they're parallel. Once you've done that, grab the second feather, do the same thing there. Place the 2 feathers on top of each other. And I'm using a Mark Pettyjohn clip. You don't need to use this, you can use a normal bulldog clip to hold the feathers. Just basically slide them inside, and what you do is you make sure that the tip of the feather, when you put it into the clamp, is sitting at the top. And I'll show you why we do that just now. Then take a pair of scissors, just trim off the stalks. Once you've got that, you can just put it down. Now what we're going to do is split the thread. I normally just tilt the vise 90 degrees to do that. First you spin the bobbin anti-clockwise, which will just unravel the thread. And once you've done that, just run your thumbnail from the top down on the thread, and that will flatten it more and it makes splitting the thread much easier. Once you've split it, stick your finger into it to hold it open, grab the clamp, and now basically, if you look, we're going to put the tip where the tip of the feather was, we're going to put that in first, because when we wrap it, we want that to be at the back of the hook, which is going to make it sparser at the back and then slowly bulking up as we get closer to the front. So you slide the clamp in, pull it out so that you're trapping the barbs, and then let go, and then just wind the thread up. Give it a gentle spin first. If you spin it too hard at this point, all the barbs will jump out. And once it's trapped, then you can give it a couple of good hard spins. And I normally do this once or twice just to build up the rope and make it a bit thicker. Once that's done, move the vise back upright, just move the post out of the way a bit, and just start hammering it forward. And what you can do after each wrap, you can just stroke the fibers out of the way, but you don't have to worry about it too much. If you trap a couple of them, it really won't affect the pattern. We wrap up to the post, and then wrap in front of it, and now I'm going to finish the fly off by just using a couple of half hitches. You can whip finish it if you want to, but I find that a couple of half hitches is fine for this pattern, and it's much easier to do. Open off. Trim it. With the post, I normally trim the post quite short in this pattern. You don't actually need it very long like you would for a normal parachute. So I'm just going to trim it around about there.